Yo, what the fuck is going on? Today is December 4th. We're going to be going over penny stocks, pre-market, and open market. We're going to start with CNEY. This week in the market land has been a little bit choppy, especially yesterday. There were a lot of momentum moves this week so far, so a lot of good opportunities, but I know for myself I've been chopped around a bit, so it's still decently hard, but there's just great opportunity as well. So at least we have that going for us. We're gonna start with CNEY. This one was a penny stock, started at 30 cents, went to $1.08 in pre-market. We had a couple nice flags here in pre-market, one right here. After this kind of downtrend break and then a break over, dip back to VWAP and to the previous resistance. I take these flags a lot in open market, although we haven't really been seeing this type of move in pre-market. But anyways, it breaks the dollar. It comes down here, it kind of stays flat at VWAP. I don't really love pennies so far. They've been kind of dog shit throughout this week, throughout last week. We did have GWAV as a power hour, or not power hour, maybe kind of the midday runner yesterday. So that was nice, but I still remain skeptical until I see more of it. But we have basically this kind of U pattern here. We hold 72, push all the way up to 86. So this was a pretty fucking good move. But the price action on these pennies, fast paced, trying to get good fills on these fucking things is sometimes near impossible. The spreads today, I got bagged a lot on terrible fucking skips and just lag as fuck on Thinkorswim. Haven't really gotten a lot of that recently, so it is kind of annoying when it happens multiple times in one day, but you live. That's what the fucking market is there for. But we have a nice U pattern here, and then it dies out on VWAP, so nothing crazy on this. It just kind of dies out and does nothing. Moving to CTNT. This one was the one, day two move. Well, not a move, but day two of the move from yesterday. Highlighting that day two moves just aren't happening again. Nothing here, so moving on. CYCN. This one was money today. Anything in this range around $5 has been really bullish if you're just looking solely at price ranges. But coming into market open, so kind of if you look at it from what CNEY did, it did this long-term flag, it breaks, it comes back down, it different type of flag here, but if you look at this, it's, you know, if you look at kind of like this way, it breaks, comes back to here. So this is kind of like an inverse head and shoulders if you compare that high to this high and this low to this low, kind of this come back up, dip back down, and then push, and this breakout right here. So we do have a similar vibe here. We have this downtrend break, it comes back to these highs right here, bang bang, skeet skeet. The lows were at 480, 490. This did come down a little bit lower, but we did come back and break through. So, you know, always make sure to kind of look what patterns are working, what kind of style is working. Not to say those two were related, but in my eyes, it just kind of paints the picture of what's happening, what trends are happening. But we do have this nice flag here. The yearly highs is at 520. And so we kind of have this push back down. It holds here. I missed this one by like a fraction of a second, and I was super pissed. As soon as it started to go, for me, anytime I take trades that are high up like this, I tend to get fucking smoked. So, being the pro trader that I am, I decided not to take this. But it just went sky high into a halt and, into sixes, I think? So this is a super nice trade right here. We have a nice kind of U pattern again. Once it breaks through the yearly highs, goes straight up into this halt. My only issue, or my thought process in the halt was, We do have this kind of resistance here at 6. It halts at 6. So with CTNT being bearish yesterday, I was a little bit mixed as whether this would kind of go back or kind of come back down. It didn't provide really any dip, like open bell dip or open halt dip that I see here. But we did go straight up. It holds this pivotal level here at 670. Pre-market highs was at 710 right there. We have this nice 1 minute dip. This I mean, holding here, you could have took some off of this 680 level for a nice little scalp there. So there's another level here at 9, a daily level, but we're not gonna kind of look at that. It pushes up, gets to 840, comes back down to the same support level at 680, tries to rotate here, and then fails through. And a couple points that I want to mention is we haven't been getting a lot of pushes over pre-market high, and this is more of a short-term pattern that I've noticed. A lot of the moves lately have been to pre-market high or break a pre-market high then die out. So once it got to here and it just didn't break right here, I pretty much knew it was over. However, we do get some backside that's kind of easier to play. I actually took some here off of this. The yearly highs is 530. If we look at, I think it was CTNT. No, I think it was, yeah, SNTI. If we look at SNTI from Monday, one thing is we kind of get these huge pullbacks, and then you have kind of like this triple bottom, double bottom move. So for me, this was kind of the move I was getting, and then I wanted to move back to this high. So I wanted like this dip right here into this. So I actually kind of I did pretty good on that trade. That was actually my best trade of the day, surprisingly. But it was just clean support off of this 570. It sucks back up, and then I get this push back to 630. So I thought this thing was going to be cooked for the rest of the day, but she actually did end up pushing back, and this was a nice fucking volume picks up here. This was a nice little flag right here. Once we break this 640 resistance, I mean, we hit it once, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times to try to break it. It breaks it. We have this nice flag right here, right underneath this 680 support that was over here. It re-breaks that. You have a nice 1 minute dip right here, back to this, back to 670. And then a fucking dick candle up to 9s. Super fucking nice. We don't really see a lot of this. However, on PSQH, news did come in around 1. So I don't know if that's, again, if this is just a random thing that happened, but around the same time is where PSQH had momentum. So people might be looking at this and being, you know, waiting until noon and seeing if something's going to spike. And people, you know, with PSQH, I'm sure FOMO kicked in on CYCN with this type of move. So I'm sure people help push this bad bitch up to that level. So that was super nice. And then it kind of did the same thing here. It was a deeper pullback, but just stayed flat on a support line, just like this did. And then it just did kind of a similar move. Pop back up over this kind of resistance point, held it, and then push again. So it did double top, but it had 1 move, 2, 3 strong moves. So we don't really see a whole lot of that in a day, but super nice. Okay, spent too much time on that. ERNA. Classic fader, don't love it. Usually these, like 99% of the time, these things fucking die off a cliff, so I'm not gonna touch that. FGL, same thing. Straight up, straight down. Basically a pump and dump stock. HRTX. So this is the this is like the death pre-market. I don't know what name to give it, but this pre-market sucks ass. Typically straight up, it's like a extended head and shoulders, but then sometimes you get this droop, this drip off the side right here. So you get this push, it goes flat, and then at 4 a.m. it spikes, it comes back down to that same support, goes flat. Sometimes it pushes back to this first level, it didn't even get to that level. It starts to sag and then fades. I've seen this pattern. This is probably one of the most prevalent patterns in pre-market that I've ever seen. I mean, I think I've seen maybe one ticker out of like hundreds with this type of pre-market do fucking anything. So always nice to have something support the thesis again. Once it dies off of open, I was immediately off of it. Moving on, HTOO. Alright, so yesterday we had CTOR, and a lot of the times when things are fading into open like this as well, very far under VWAP, these tend to not do anything. But with CTOR, you know, the things start to flip from what they've been doing. I tend to look at that. So HTOO was another fader. So CTOR did push. So looking at HTOO, this thing was also a penny stock. So it's like, don't really love it either. But we start to get this flag right here, and I'm kind of getting interested. But the price action was fucking a piece of shit. It's just super spready, again, just tough to get in and out. We do have this spike right here, and volume starts to kick up like crazy. Like we go from 1 million shares per candle to 5 mil per 1 minute candle. So we 5x our volume in a matter of minutes. So my target was kind of this push, dip back down to VWAP, and then kind of go for this 80-cent mark, which was a previous run in the last 30 days, and also pre-market highs, and right there. So this was a good dip trade. I did get some, but again, the issue is it moves so fast. Trying to get fills, trying to get out, you can make a lot of money, and you can also get fucked real bad on this ticker. So it was really, this price action looks clean in hindsight, but actually trying to fucking trade it was a nightmare in my opinion. But it did ride the VWAP here. It was kind of like this weird uptrend, and then break of that, and then fade all day. We have failed rotation here. Like I said, overall, it was the volume, the movement was super bullish, but the price action was just dog shit. So very similar to CTOR, even like even the price action itself. You have this fade chop, not interested. Then you have this weird, like right here is very similar to, where's she at? Like right here. You have this weird chop. It's like a U pattern, low volume. Then it goes sideways. Then it breaks through VWAP, and then goes straight up, and then it comes back down. CTOR. Let's see. Chop, break. We have this mini flag, and then break, come back down to VWAP, and then breaks again. It breaks the highs, but then fades right after it breaks. I mean, it's almost exactly the same to a certain degree, but. Yeah, so that was HTOO, super nice bullish move. IDAI, this one's a previous runner. I'm not going to talk a lot about it. Yeah, just fade off the open. PSQH, day 2. We have nothing here. When I say nothing, it's just volume-wise, price action-wise. Yeah, that's a nice little spike there, but nothing really else here. SGBX. Also one that's a multi-day. This is backside. A lot of the times when we have recycled names that are pushing in pre-market, they don't even get back to the previous highs. They tend to just kind of fade out. All right, SMX. This is another one like GWAV where I just did not See, similar to Guav, had no real pre-market. Nice pushing overall. Let's see, anything good here? You kind of have this dip trade here. That was nice. You have this, I guess you have like a cup and handle right here between this and this. So this was nice, a little more extended than I would like, but still it's there. That was super nice. Double bottom flag here, dipped the previous high there. Probably this trend line that I'm missing as well, something like that. So up on a trend line, you have this bull flag right here, similar to that pattern. Bull flag there. Midday bull flags on candles like this tend to work. And then you have this break, you have this dip to a gap level right there. Yeah, overall this thing had several bullish patterns, so nice to see there as well. We're gonna move on. I think it was in a massive gap fill. If you look at the daily, this bitch, yeah, she, like, you know, you have this gap fill from 50 cents to fucking $1.37. So long ways to go, but overall price action, that was super clean as well. Cynthia, not gonna go over. SRM, this pre-market, I tried to find the ticker that it was almost the same exact price action. We had this extended move. We had this like initial move down here. We had an extended move. It came back and then just rode this like trend line, and then it had another push, broke the previous high by not a lot. Was under a key level. In this case of the previous one I'm talking about, it was like, I think the 200 daily. Came back down, was kind of like not fading but dropping into open, and then just dropped off a cliff. So it kind of pisses me that I can't find it. I did look, but couldn't find it. But anyways, this thing came from where'd it come from? 70 cents. It's at $1, so always got to be careful. Remind yourself, these things tend to halt usually within the first 5 minutes. Yes, you can get a dip ad here if you're playing open market exclusively, but this thing could open here and insta halt down. You can get fucking smoked. So once I see this halt, I was pretty much out of it, and I see this also donezo. Yeah, this thing just died out, unfortunately. This type of price action fucking sucks. I wish they would change that, but it is what it is. SVMH. This thing's just fading off a cliff. It filled the gap already, so to me, this thing already made the move. It filled the gap. It's fading. Again, we have things like HTOO and CTOR that can do this, but stuff that looks like goes straight up and then just straight down, that has no clean pre-market action, tends to fade. So this thing faded. VCIG. This thing was a previous runner. I think this is kind of backside. The setup was kind of weird. It did do an open bell dip to the 200 intra, and then just did a push to the pre-market highs and then died out. So there was another one similar to this yesterday. I'm probably not gonna find it. Was it Shim? Was it Shim? No. I'm gonna find it. JFBR maybe? Porch? No, wasn't any of those. Chris? Yeah, here we go. Well, not really. Different pre-market, but it did double top with the pre-market high. So I thought there was one similar to that. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyways, double top. Be careful of that as well. And then VIRX, just low volume, not really interested. So that is going to be it for today. Today was really good. CYCN cooked the market. You also had things like SMX that were low-key grinding, putting in fucking bullish moves. HTOO, another one. I think the pennies, there was some momentum in pennies. I still think between this whole week, it's been a huge mixed bag of what's hot, what's not. Pennies have not been super strong. I think stocks in the $5 will continue to take over, but you never know. Peace.